Out here, the kingpin squill. This is crazy. I'm on the right track. I'm finally found. You need some soul searching. The time is now. All I need is one mic. Yeah. All I need is one mic. That's all I ever needed in this world. Fuck cash. All I need is one mic. Fuck the cars, the jewelry. All I need is one mic. Spread my voice to the whole world. Baby.
Real good reasons for all the things I've done. I've got a picture in the back of my mind of what I've lost and what I've won. I've survived every situation, knowing when to freeze and when to run. And regret is just a memory written on my brow, and there's nothing I can do about it now.
Welcome to Best Denver Psychic. I'm your host, Gina, and this is my co-host and producer, Steve. Steve, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing? Wow, we are really loud here. Let me turn that down a little bit. There we go.
Whoa.
Hey, and today we're going to be talking about, I hope everybody is going to enjoy the show. We're going to be talking about ancient aliens. You know, sometimes we think about where did we come from as a people and what kind of things in our lives, you know, are affected by something that we can't control. And a lot of times we talk about things like that. And that's what we're going to kind of talk a little bit about with Scott Hapel. And he brought, is that how you pronounce your name, sir, by the way?
Yep.
All right. So, yeah. And he thought he's kind of an expert on the ancient alien deal. And indeed, we thought we'd bring a little bit of a twist to the Best Denver Psychic show.
I think I'm late to the ancient alien table, too.
We'll go ahead and talk a little bit about that and kind of move the mic back and forth between you guys.
Oh, sorry. There we go. Hello.
There we go.
You know,
we have to squeeze it right on in.
About ancient aliens. I don't know anything about ancient aliens. I never saw the TV show about ancient aliens. I barely believed in spirits, which is ironic.
Yeah.
So I'm just fascinated to hear what you have to say tonight.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me.
Yep. Just in the show prep, I Googled a bunch of pictures. And so hopefully I found some interesting ones.
Pretty sure that counts as research.
Yes. Well, you know, I mean, I just thought there's no low enough information. It'll all be new for me. So
awesome.
And Steve, this is a subject that you're pretty familiar with.
I'm not so much really familiar with it. It's something that interests me. You know, there's a lot of things that happened way before recorded history, or what we would consider recorded history, that are unexplained. And many people have their theories, and they, you know, wonder what way or another, you know, how certain things could have been built in the time that they were built and what they were for. You know,
and technology. I'm totally into alien technology.
Who isn't?
Well, I don't know. My mother. I mean, she thinks my whole life is
pretty awesome.
I think it's very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, that just totally brought up the whole alien abduction thing, but I'll try to stay on track.
Yeah. But before we get to all that, we want to kind of introduce Scott. And Scott, let us know what you do, who you are, and, you know, pump up all the good stuff about you and everything, man.
Sure. Well, my name is Scott Hapel.
H-A-P-P-L-E.
E-L. Sure.
Oh, H-A-P-P-E-L. See?
Are you asking people to Google me now? So
I hope.
I am the
if you're out there listening, hit
Facebook
the Google.
stalk away. I am the general manager at the Oriental Theater. I produce a show called Carnival de Sensual, which is a, you know, carnival aerialist burlesque show. Magicians, psychics.
I was the psychic at one of the shows we found out when Scott and I met.
Sure.
Very cool.
Very cool. And yeah, that's mostly what I do. I've also been a professional photographer for 12 years, and I do boring stuff like photograph real estate. So.
Oh, that's cool.
No, it's not.
You don't.
But it pays well. So
he's trying to work his way out of that
absolutely
gig.
not cool, but it pays all right. So it is the way to go.
Nice.
There we
nice.
go. What was some of the good stuff that you took photos of lately that, you know, that
I don't know if this show is rated well for that.
Well, go ahead, man.
Oh, yeah. We're
lately?
already banned in Germany.
Lately?
Who cares?
Well, nothing really fun.
Nudies, do you do nudies?
Not recently. No, not that my wife would let me share.
But not for strangers.
No, well, if they pay, sure.
There we go.
Well,
But
yeah,
I am available.
She doesn't have a problem with that. I would show some of your photos, but
Yeah.
for those of you who would like a nice picture for your
Classy.
partner,
Classy.
picture for your partner, go to his Facebook page.
Don't
That
really
last
do
name
this,
is
no.
Chappel.
Yes, that was perfect.
Yes, and go and hey, take a look at the photos, see what you think.
No,
We're gonna
please don't do that.
get Scott out of the real estate business with just boobies.
That was horrible.
wow, you are
Okay.
really throwing the poor guy
That's
into the
not
bus.
horrible.
He's nice enough to come on over
That's
and
not
spend some
horrible.
time with us, and you're just
I took
Wow.
it straight to boobs.
wow,
Yeah.
you certainly did.
What can I
Wow.
say?
Awesome.
I think that's awesome.
Sure. Boobs are awesome.
Boobs
Boobs are awesome.
Everybody
Indeed.
loves boobs.
Do you
Tell a little bit
Photoshop?
about tell a little bit about the burlesque festival since we
Carnaval de Sensual. It's 3 times a year. It is the Saturday before Halloween. This year, that's October 24th. It is the
Saturday before.
It's just a good night to have a show.
Oh, sweet.
Sure. I like to have them. It's kind of a pagan thing, and I like to have them near
Yeah.
solstices. So
Steve, could I have a pen, please?
Yeah.
it started out only as the October show right before Halloween.
Mhm.
And it's sort of grown into the spring pagan show and the summer
Nice.
tiki show.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It's a really good time. We have a lot of really good performers that come
Oh,
out.
it's so nice to meet you.
We have burlesque. We have an amazing magician. We have a great freak show, and we have aerialists.
Oh, no, you do not.
Oh yeah, we do.
Oh,
We
freak
have-
show.
we
I
have
got to see it.
Slim Fady from the Faded Freak Show performs. He does a great job. Miss Clairvoyant is our magician. We have a bevy of burlesque girls and
A bevy of
a
girls.
bevy, and Nadia Tizer is our aerialist, and
Sweet.
they're all amazing.
Nadia Tizer.
Hmm
I would love to be an aerialist,
It's
except I'm out of shape. and
really
afraid of heights.
dangerous. Yeah,
Well, you
That's
know,
the only part I
I
like
hold
about
my
it.
breath through her entire performance every
something
time.
about dreams, indeed.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but that's just because you're paying the insurance.
No, maybe.
Yeah, just a little maybe. All right. Well, let's see. We'll
I'm
be
hearing
with
music.
you on the other side of the break. You're listening to Best Denver Psychic, and we'll on the Frieza Block Radio Network, and we'll be right back.
Attention of so much more advanced civilizations. God is a circle of centers everywhere. And darkness is nowhere. Elijah, who calls down from heaven up in the chariots. One thing is certain, they have become a living man. One thing is certain, they have become a living man. Congestion creates fear, which looks for help from extraterrestrial sources, since it cannot be found on Earth. God is the circle whose center is everywhere, and whose circumference is nowhere. Eyewitness projection, rains of blood, sound seen in discussions, conditions, Freemasons, organizations, hidden unconscious projections, explanations, so opinions, illusions, visions, belief, menacing romance. Elijah, who calls down fire from heaven, as his open One thing is certain, I've become a living man.
All right, welcome back to Best Denver Psychic. I'm your host, Gina, and you can watch us every Wednesday at 8 to 10.
Steve is scaling me up right now.
I know, Steve has this thing about the fan. It's like an oven in here, dude.
But it sounds so much better.
Oh,
So, guys, get right up on that mic. Feel free.
Sound quality.
There we go. There we go. Feel free to use your broadcast voice, Gina. All right.
I'm not even sure what that is.
Yeah.
I need to develop that. Okay, so you can watch the show live on YouTube. You can go to my channel, Best Denver Psychic, and go to my subscriptions and click on Freeze a Block, and then you'll go and you'll be able to watch the show live as it airs.
Wow.
All right, I know. Pretty.
You're telling people how to watch the show while the show's on.
That's right.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Fabulous.
Well, because when they watch it the next time, then they can tune in. Hello.
Fair enough.
Let's see, and definitely subscribe to Freeze a Block. Steve, you do the Freeze a Block Thursdays at 5:00.
Yeah, the Freeze a Block show. Believe that?
I do.
I've heard of that.
I totally believe it.
On milehighunderground.com. That's on Thursdays between it's on at 5:00 on Mountain Time, 5:00 between 5 and 7. And this week I'm going to have Jaime from Estrella in, and we're going to be talking about where Estrella is headed.
And
One of the
what
hotter
kind of
groups
music
in
do
town.
they play? Sorry,
metal,
Apparently
hard rock.
I'm not going to know anything on this show tonight.
Real hard rock. That's
You would
probably-
think the psychic would know, too.
Yeah, you would think.
Yeah, you know, I mainly just listen to the voices in my head, pretty much.
Don't you have Rowdy Shadehouse coming up on that show soon?
Yeah, we do, man. As a matter of fact, Rowdy Shadehouse will be on the show, I
How'd you
believe,
know
on
that?
the 20th. You know,
I'm
Psychic.
and you know what? Just for you, man, we'll pull up some Rowdy Shadehouse here in a little bit, and we'll get that
Sweet.
going for us.
I wouldn't
Sweet.
do that. I'd probably get naked if you started.
Oh, we can only
That's
hope.
the best part. That's the best
I
part.
know. That would do it. That would get us a lot more viewers.
Maybe, no.
We would be banned in more
Is this-
places
is this-
than Germany.
Is this a hate viewing show? Is that what this is? It's like Sharknado?
No, right. Oh, right.
Perfect.
Our viewers are lovely.
Have you seen them?
Oh, well, I don't know. I like to think I have.
Okay. Good.
I mean, what if it's just plain strangers? I'm going to feel really weird about that. I know my mom is not watching.
I feel like I'm distracting you.
Oh, well, quite possibly.
Go for it.
Okay, so let's talk about ancient aliens.
Let's do it.
Okay, so I guess it's about time, right, that I get to it.
All right.
Don't make me say the.
So you know nothing, right? So the brief
I know
overview.
nothing. Okay.
Would you like a brief,
I would like
30-second outline?
Well, more than 30 seconds.
1 minute outline?
Yeah, because I think I'm going to need more
Just
than
cut
30
me off when you're
seconds
done
of
with the
information.
outline.
Okay.
So
I'll shoot it, baby.
Modern ancient astronaut theory basically grew out of an author named Eric von Däniken, who wrote a book called Chariot of the Gods. And
I know what that is.
Oh, good job at you.
Yeah.
And see, you don't know nothing.
I don't know nothing.
Right.
I did know that. I didn't know I knew that.
Fabulous. And his general theory is that most sort of religious ideas, most of ancients talking about meetings with the gods,
yes,
were their way of trying to explain their interactions with extraterrestrials that visited the Earth.
Yes.
And so he went around and looked at a lot of ancient texts and a lot of ancient carvings and a lot of this or that, with the kind of predisposition of, what if they're not talking about these, what we would today call non-existent gods?
Yes.
What if they were in fact just trying to describe in primitive language their interactions with very advanced beings that traveled here from some other planet? And so they, when they came down in their spaceship and had that sort of technology, ancient people didn't know how to describe that, so they just
and I think it's in the Bible. The Bible refers to aliens and life on other planets.
I do know that.
Yes. Well, sweet.
I'd be a pretty crappy expert on this if
I
didn't know that.
Well, I didn't know. I knew even that.
I mean,
yeah,
pretty
maybe
much.
I can look those up.
It's a pretty wide across ancient text wherever you're talking about.
It's like common knowledge.
That there's stuff that you could interpret as being interactions with ancient astronauts. Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, so, but what makes the difference between ancient astronauts and aliens? Sometimes it looks different.
No,
like
it's
I
just
can never tell what it's.
So the TV show is called Ancient Aliens.
Okay.
But before the TV show,
right,
the common terminology was ancient astronaut. And so even when you watch the TV show, the people on there, Giorgio and whatever, will refer to themselves as ancient astronaut theorists.
Okay.
Right.
I gotcha.
So the term ancient aliens is really pretty new, and it's just because that's what they called the show.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay, so is that different from sometimes you see these depictions and hieroglyphs and whatnot of the bulbous head coming out the back? Is that the same thing?
The bulbous head coming out the back of
know how they have the head? I know, right? Okay, where the head is elongated.
Oh, so okay.
Is that
well? That's part of it.
Okay.
I mean, the ancient astronaut theory is not like, say, the theory of gravity. It's not a detailed, here's exactly how we believe this happened sort of thing. It's more of a looking at history and saying, well, what if what we believe isn't exactly right? What if? Which
is a critical question to ask yourself.
It sort of starts with the question, what if ancient astronauts did visit Earth?
Yes.
And let's look at all of these documents and stuff with that eye and see if they happen to fit it. So there's lots of little details that may fit or may not fit, may be debunked, may not be debunked, but it doesn't sort of matter, because the ancient astronaut theorists aren't claiming we know exactly what happened and here's what it is. They're just saying, you know what, maybe this sort of stuff happened, and we're closing ourselves off to the possibility that it was ancient astronauts. Like traditional archaeology would close itself off to the idea that it was an ancient astronaut, and ancient astronaut theorists don't. That's really the difference.
Right. I think you have to have an open
They
mind.
sort of look at all instances of ancient people talking about the gods and say, you know what, there probably weren't really gods in the traditional sense.
Especially not once you see
they were probably something
carvings
else. And what else could it be? Well, someone with, if I went back in time with my phone and it worked, then people would,
interesting concept,
then people would think that, wow, this guy has this, he's a god. He has, he can pull up all the information in the world on his little thing in his hand, and 400, 500, 1,000 years ago, that would be unthinkable. And so if they tried to describe it, they might describe me as a god. They'd be wrong, but they might describe me as that.
Right.
So,
and so that goes into a little bit about the technology.
Right.
Bringing that technology and exposing it. I mean, because all I've seen is just the depictions.
Sure.
And so it's like they not only did they come, but they like lived amongst everyone is what I look at when I see it.
So the way I like to think about it is, imagine, we've gone to the moon and we've got probes that have gone all the way to Pluto now. But imagine in 20 years, 50 years, whatever, we have a spaceship that can go to Sirius Minor and check it out. And imagine the astronauts that land there find animals and apes and maybe the equivalent of cavemen there.
Yes.
Okay. And, if they fly all the way there, they're probably not going to leave 5 minutes later.
Right.
They're probably going to hang out. And maybe
Yes.
they'd even be like, hey,
Good call.
cave people that can sort of farm and have some fire, we'll help you out. You know, we're going to help. We're going to show you how to build a house. And we're going to show you how to do this. And, you know, that's what astronauts would probably do if they ended up on a planet and found primitive life.
Do you think they're still doing that? I mean, aliens are still giving us technology, I think.
I think that I would.
So is it a continual aliens in the future for
that would
all
not be
their
my personal view. My
What would
personal
your
view would
personal
be
view?
that the universe is huge.
right?
And if we send out some people in a spaceship and they get to a planet today or
Yes.
soon, they probably can't even come back. Right? We probably don't have the technology for them to
Okay,
even
I
come
gotcha.
back. They're just sort of the Christopher Columbus of space.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
And so maybe they get there and maybe they just can't make it back. And, you know, maybe they leave that planet and go to another planet,
And
whatever.
they have to bring the technology because
Right,
they're
right.
stuck there. Oh, that's an
Sure.
interesting one.
So my personal thoughts
right.
would be that if ancient astronauts visited, it was probably temporarily and not necessarily constantly up till today.
I gotcha.
That it would just be sort of like, hey, we found this planet that has some life on it. We're going to hang out here for a bit.
Right.
And then maybe we passed away or maybe we moved on to the next planet. And it's not a constant flow of people because the universe is pretty gigantic and that's not how it works.
Well, and our minds are so small. I don't think you can even.
Maybe yours is.
Probably.
I have one of those elongated
Probably.
heads with the extra
I'm
brain.
sure you are definitely the biggest brain here tonight. What do you think, Steve? I
yeah,
think
for
probably.
Sure.
Yeah. And so how did you get into this?
So
I mean, like, how did that
I don't
evolve?
disagree at all, man.
I mean, that would be stupid if we did that.
so I've always read a lot,
Uh-huh.
and so I read some books that sort of touched on this theory throughout my life, but I didn't read Eric von Däniken until I saw one of the first Ancient Alien shows on
Mhm.
TV. And then I went and read his books, and I read some other books, Morning of the Magicians, some other things that were sort of the basis of this theory that are much older.
Mhm.
Von Däniken wrote in the 70s. Morning of the Magicians is older than that. And a lot of people sort of trace the theory back, if you want to H.P. Lovecraft's writings.
Oh, okay.
And his books were sent to troops in World War I in France, and some sort of pagan weird guys in France read his books and said, hey, we like this. So they wrote Morning of the Magicians. And there are people that will tell you Von Däniken sourced, borrowed, stole a lot of his ideas from Morning of the
Reiterated,
Magicians.
possibly.
Sure.
I mean, you know.
I think he took them and researched them in his own way
And expounded on
and
it.
expounded on it. Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you recommend people start with?
Chariot of the Gods is probably the easiest place to start.
Mhm.
Morning of the Magicians was written by someone in France and translated, and it's a little more difficult of a read.
Oh,
So I would say to the casual person that's interested, Chariots of the Gods is the best place to start. There's a lot of pictures that it references, and it's written in a way that is easy for anyone to sort of pick up and read on the beach while they're on vacation.
Okay.
It's not
And
like-
and was the TV show, was it kind of pimpy?
what?
Was it kind of pimpy, or was it pimping it out?
I don't know
I'm
what
like,
you mean.
maybe we have different definitions of the word pimp. I'm very confused right
Like
now.
just trying to make money off of certain aspects.
No,
of
so the very
manipulation.
first
I mean,
Ancient
can you trust that?
Ancient
show?
Aliens did not start as a series. It actually started as a special that was sort of a tribute to Eric von Däniken.
Oh, okay.
Right. So it was kind of a one-time thing, and then it was so popular that they commissioned
I
a
gotcha.
TV show, and now it's continued for, I think they're on season 7 or something.
Oh,
like that
my
right now.
son watches every single show.
Sure.
I mean, he is just fascinated. He has all the books,
Great.
and so I'm glad to finally know a little something.
So that's how the show started. Was like, hey, we're gonna expound on this book and this theory. Von Däniken's actually written a lot of books. Not all of them are even translated into English. I guess if you were asking if it's pimpy, that would, there are critics that would say that that it's just sort of, or that Von Däniken made this shit up to make money, and maybe the TV show is the same way.
Oh, I
But
gotcha. But the
that
TV
would be a pretty
show wasn't
cynical view.
capitalizing. There's all kind of cynics.
Sure.
Yeah, I never look past somebody who is just so low vibrating that they can't listen to anything.
Right.
So have you always been interested in, are you interested in other aspects of aliens?
I've always
or-
been sure.
a
Like
history
I would
person?
say, yeah, a little bit of history, a little bit of aliens. I would say that the X-Files
Mhm.
was a TV show I was kind of
Love that
obsessed with.
show.
And so that was probably as a kid, I was, interested as kids are, I suppose.
Right.
But for it to become more of an interest was probably the X-Files, honestly. I love that show and actually got to meet Mulder and Scully once.
No, you did not.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Oh, that's very cool.
I was convinced Scully and I were going to get married, but it didn't work out.
Nice. Well, she's stupid.
No, what?
Hey, man.
I got to go.
She didn't snag on you. That's just lame.
Yeah, well. Anyway, so I love that was probably where it started. I hear music.
Yep.
Yeah, I was
running up on a break.
Right, running up on a break. All right, you're listening to Best Denver Psychic. Tune in right after this on the Frieza Block Radio Network.
Function, drop the hammer, the wax shatter, sativas, hybrids, headband grammar, vegetation, relaxation, government, legalization, why quit hitting? Yo, trees are big business in your life, yo, I make a big difference. Slow things down, embrace the moments, lay off for living with the quickness and hit this, puffing on the botany, help you out after work, break up the monotony, as the world spin like pottery, get your mind off the economy, chemistry flowing through my arteries. Trees doing magic, make me feel so amazing and astonishing. Blazini, veggies in my lungs, brain gone. In the bone, magic like a genie. Blazini, 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 veggies in my lungs, brain gone. In the bone, magic like a genie. Blazini, Blazini. Star gliding, star sliding, planet hopping. The chronicles of the chrome to the coffin. Chief of forwards on the planet of Endo. Then back to the CO, re-up at the stove. Higher than Pikes Peak, higher than a bird's beak. Soaring in the sky, looking down at the street. Green leaf, vapor burner bowls. Blunts wrap zigzags. Glass jar, no more Ziploc bags. Different strains of the legal. Got me spitting this spaced out lingo. My 420 jingle powered by the sour diesel. Miss Jane and I light up like a casino, and we love it every minute. Got to get it, yeah. Leave the switch and split it. Green out the window, flows up 420 near the theater district. Blazini, veggies in my lungs, brain gone. In the bone, magic like a genie. Blazini, Blazini. Blazini, veggies in my lungs, brain gone. In the bone, magic like a genie. Blazini, Blazini. The magnitude of the good vibes got me on a positive attitude, on a different altitude, sticky like honeydew. Spaceship views, yo, I turn the music up, hit the button, just cruise. Mountaintop, yo, provide the backdrop. City scene bubbly, yeah, profits off the crops. The growth don't stop. Your parents called a pie. I'm loading up, rolling up. Doja, mind travels like the Stanley Cup. AM or PM, yeah, baby, we going up. Dancer in another galaxy, a Kush fantasy, green with the artistry, actually interplanetary. Me and Mary, been married on adventures across the sky. Fly, shining like canary. Yo, the situation 420 friendly. Blazini, veggies in my lungs, brain gone. In the bone, magic like a genie. Blazini, Blazini. Blazini, veggies in my lungs, brain gone. In the bone, magic like a genie. Blazini, Blazini.
Tuned in to the Frieza Block Network. You're tuned in to the Frieza Block Network. It's all right. Free speech. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. You're listening to the Freezer Block
You're told
Network.
you're supposed to get excited about a bunch of garbage. You're told you're supposed to get excited about a bunch of mindless crap, about football games. You're supposed to get excited about freedom and tyranny and stopping.
That's what resistance is about.
And it's happening right now.
You're listening to the Freezer Block Radio Network. Free speech. It's all right. It's all right.
See what I mean?
What?
What?
Are we on? Hello? Hello, are we on?
Hello.
Hey, if you are watching us right now, text me if the background noise on the fan is too much.
It's not too much anymore.
God
That
damn
was it.
I just
You
can't
know,
reach it, so.
We need
There
to
we
get
go.
Fan has been murdered.
Yeah.
Yes, we need to get oxygen.
Yeah, well, hey, that's the
Can
way it is. We're doing it here at the home studio, here at the Freezer Block Studios,
Can
and
we,
sometimes it's how it works, man.
Can we
So
huff oxygen on the air?
you can do whatever you want on the air.
I mean, it is my show,
Yeah,
right?
you can do whatever you want. you know?
Booyah.
That's right.
You can do whatever you like.
That's right. Anyway, go ahead. Do you want to start off this next segment with
Oh yeah,
Scott here? or-
and
Ask
well,
away.
actually, we have somebody who wants to know.
Are you kidding me?
Oh,
Yeah, somebody wants to know. Oh my God, Steve.
Well, hold on a second.
Okay,
I
I'll wait.
really was kind of surprised that you actually did have that.
Why do you think?
Wants to know.
All right, there we go.
Why were you surprised I have that?
I don't know. Well, what's up? What do they want to know?
Okay,
Who is this?
this is our investor.
All right, cool.
Okay, sweet. Let's see here. Oh, I need.
we have
the,
investors?
I'll hook her up first. Hang on.
Oh.
This is such a treat for you.
Yeah,
You'll love this.
They made me promise to be nice.
that's why we have the commercial break so we can
Yeah,
call her
yeah,
during
yeah.
the songs and stuff, and
Perfect.
you know. But no,
Hey,
hey, you know
how's it
what?
going?
You want to do it this way? Go ahead, Gina.
Did this
Good.
well.
Hang on just 1 second.
Yes, indeed.
And
So go
I'm
ahead.
putting you on live.
All right. Yes, indeed. So.
I love this show.
Yeah, this is the part of the show that where we do gold speculations.
Uh-huh.
So if you're
Oh,
following
not gold.
along and
Silver.
enjoy, oh,
Silver.
silver. My bad.
Get it
Jesus,
together,
man,
Steve.
I know that. It's the
Jeez,
first
even he
For
knows.
time I've
Pete's
been
sake,
here.
I almost said a bad word.
All right, go
We're
on, go
practicing
right
for
on
the
ahead, caller.
FCC. Are you there?
Yep.
Okay, sweet. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. Good to talk to you again.
Yeah.
How long have tell a little bit about me?
What was that?
That'll be better. Tell our listeners and viewers a little bit about me. How do you know me? Let's go through the whole thing, baby.
Oh, me? How I know you?
Yeah. Can I use your name?
I don't know. I've known you for a few years, I think.
Can I use your name?
Sure.
All right, Sean. I didn't know if this was anonymous. Okay, so what would you like to know? So you've been contacting me about this same thing, basically, right? I'm just trying to fill people
I
in.
think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
What do
so
you
my
want to
first
know?
question is, in about 2 weeks from now, will SLV be up like 1.5 points or 3.5 points from where it is now?
Is that the 21st?
Between the 17th and the 21st.
And what were the numbers?
Will it be up like 1.5 points from where it is now, or 3.5 points from where it is now?
1.5.
Okay, so does it feel more like 1550 will be the high?
1545 for the whole month
For
of
August?
August. The high
Yeah.
you're looking for?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say it's not going to go up to 1550.
It won't go to 1550?
I don't think it will go to 1550 on the 21st.
Will it? How high will it go in August?
I'm going to say 1550. That's going to be the high for all of August.
Okay.
Down
So
to
does it feel like it's going to hit the highs that it was at like in mid-June of 2015 or late January of 2015 for that week?
I don't know. I'm hearing late January, but I don't recall any of that. How do you keep track of this?
Oh, I have graphs that I keep track of
Spreadsheets,
it.
I'm sure.
Yeah, spreadsheets and graphs.
So you think the high in August will be about where it was the end of January?
That's what I'm hearing.
Okay.
But
Will I
something
be really-
significant around the 28th. I think you're going to have trouble on the 28th. I would just mark that day out.
Okay.
I don't know if that has anything to do with the market or not. Is that a market day?
It is.
Okay, that just feels like a totally jacked up day.
Meaning it'll be down or up?
No, you, my dear.
Oh.
Your day. On the 28th. So trade around that, I would. I don't think you're going to be able to trade it all on the 28th. Just my prediction.
And do you see me making money in a couple of weeks from now?
Yes, I see you making money every week. I've never seen in my mind when you did not make money.
So in 2 weeks, I will.
And that, remember not too long ago when I told you if you didn't watch out, you were going to lose everything?
Uh-huh.
I no longer see that as a possibility. So whatever it was you changed, continue doing that.
Okay.
Okay, last question. Go ahead. You can think for a second. You don't have to. There's no rush, my friend.
Okay. Will SLV be up, down, or flat in September?
I think it's going to be flat at the August low. So I would track the low.
So for August, low is what it'll be in September?
No, whatever the August low is going to be the flat in September. Within 0.60.
What was that? I couldn't hear you.
Within flat in September and within 0.60 or 60 cents or whatever you're actually using to measure all of this, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
Within 0.60 of that is what I see in my mind. It's printed on a sticky note. So.
But you do see.
You have sticky notes in your mind?
I have sticky notes in my head. It's
awesome.
like talking to me while I'm watching TV when I'm being asked questions. Okay, go ahead. Last thing.
Do you see that? Do you see it SLV popping though in August, popping up?
Boy, not above 1550. I don't know though. Well, I don't know why I'm still getting 21. It continues to come up. So I don't know. Okay.
And I think I figured out that date that we've been looking for.
Which was?
Want me to tell you?
Yeah. Well, I don't remember what date it was we were looking for.
Well, for when SLV goes to like 11.50 per share, does October 27th sound right?
Yes.
October 27th. Does that sound right?
I don't know. I'm not getting anything on that. Sorry. Okay, but let's find out. How did you figure that out? Through some kind of a graphing calculation statistical thing or what?
Oh yeah, a bunch of stuff.
Okay, sweet.
Technology?
Yeah, ancient alien technology. That's the subject of our show. Shauna, do you watch the show?
What?
Oh, well, you know what, dude?
What show?
We got to go. We got to move on with our thing. Thanks for calling. And and let me know next week if you have more questions. Okay, have a great night.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.
Okay, you too. Bye.
That was amazing.
There we go.
That was amazing.
What was amazing about that?
Everything about that was amazing.
Did that shock you?
Yes.
Is that what you expected? Which part shocked you? That subject matter comes up, or the dynamic
level of detail of the questions?
Yeah, it makes me super sweat.
Yeah, I think that's her point.
I can't do it for 30 minutes. Usually, that's how long she used to.
I think she's just graphing your accuracy, and then someday she's just going to put this all out and let the world know how accurate you were.
That would be cool. Any millionaires out there? Well, I almost said she's not the only one I do. But I stopped myself.
Indeed.
No, you didn't. You just said it.
Well, in retrospect.
All right.
If there is such a thing when you're talking.
All right. Well, without any further ado, we're going to go right on into some music. We're going to take a quick break and change gears. And we were going to go into what we were going to be talking about with Scott here and ancient alien structures
and technology.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
All right. Best Denver Psychic on the Frieza Block Radio Network.
When I was young, I said things I didn't mean. Yeah, I just wanted you to want me. Now I've grown up, they were ridiculous, I know. The weight of thought and I'm just a line in my song. Yeah, I think it's where you've been all along. I promise I'll be the next big thing, and I hope you feel guilty for all the while you were seeing stars. You could have lost it from my heart. You're telling me you're seeing stars. You'll never be closer than your dreams are. Hold the memory and let it be to your ends. You're telling me you're seeing stars. You'll never be closer than you once were. Hold the memory of me and let it be to your ends. Let it be until you feel empty. As for me, I can revel in the past. I'm nothing without competence. No voice could hold me back. You're telling me you're seeing stars. You'll never be closer than your dreams are. Hold the memory and let it be into your ends. You're telling me you're seeing stars. You'll never be closer than you once were. Hold the memory of me and let it be into your ends. You're telling me you're seeing stars. You'll never be closer than your dreams are. Hold the memory and let it be into your ends. You're telling me you're seeing stars. You'll never be closer than you once were. Hold the memory of me and let it be into your ends.
Hi, I'm Gina. Join me for the Best Denver Psychic Wednesdays at 8 o'clock with my producer, Steve Valverde, coming to you on the Freezer Block Radio Network. All right, welcome back to Best Denver. Oh,
It's all right. Go ahead.
I was too early.
That's all right.
I'm sorry.
You're
I
good. Go
messed
for
it
it.
up. I'm sad now.
We are pros.
I'm so inadequate.
That's all right. You're good. Go ahead.
You're listening to Best Denver Psychic. I'm your host, Gina, and this is my co-host, Steve Valverde, and we have the premier expert on ancient aliens with us. Right?
I'm gonna get murdered now by Giorgio or something. You can't say that.
Oh, he's a fool. He's not even watching our show.
Yeah, he's not even.
But he will
Don't
be.
insult Giorgio.
He's gonna find us on a T-shirt about ancient aliens.
That dude is Greek. Don't insult him.
How funny! I wonder how his money's doing ever since the IMF.
Well, he doesn't
crashed
live
their
there anymore.
economy.
I think it's fine.
I
Good for
understand
him.
why.
Smart guy.
Yeah. Okay, so you were going to tell us about some ancient or some alien technology.
I was. No, Steve wanted to know about some structures, I think.
Yeah, Puma Punko. Is that how you say it, by the way? Puma.
As far as I know, yes. Puma
Okay.
Punko down in South America is, along with the pyramids in Egypt, is one of the sort of sites that ancient astronaut theorists kind of point to as being things that were built that probably couldn't have been built by technology that traditional archaeology believes existed at the time. Puma Punko in specific was a structure built of a series of what look like H blocks. They look like a capital H in the English language. And they're cut very precisely and very evenly over hundreds and hundreds of blocks. And they're all huge and really heavy. And
I want to get a graph. I want to get a picture of that during the next break.
Sure. And so the idea that sort of ancient people with stone tools could have successfully done that in the kind of precision that was done is something that ancient astronaut theorists have an issue with. And so they theorize that perhaps there was some other technology involved that allowed them to be able to create these blocks that are all very precise and very straight.
And it seemed like I'd heard somewhere that they were trying to unearth aliens that had been, or ancient aliens that had actually been buried at the bottom of some of the pyramids and whatnot. But I'm fuzzy on where did I actually hear that.
I'm fuzzy on where you heard that too.
I don't know, but I'm sure
I don't know
heard
anything about that
they-
involving Puma Punku, but one of the other parts of Puma Punku that is odd is that it's on the top of a plateau, and none of the stone is anywhere near it. So it's kind of a similar problem that we have with the pyramids of how could they have moved these gigantic rock things that weigh a ton or more from miles away all the way up this plateau and then cut them precisely and stack them up. It seems like, me, you, and Steve, and 20 other people couldn't figure it out.
And
now,
the population of the planet wouldn't have been enough almost to get all those slaves. I mean, that's a huge undertaking. I would think you would find
there they are
indications of
See,
that.
They look like big H's.
Oh, hold on. Well, we can't show them yet. Hold on.
Okay.
We're working on it.
I
Though.
see
We're
them.
almost there. We can see them, but you can't see
I
them.
don't care about these fools.
I know. It's all about us. When we're in this studio, it's about us.
So it's really kind of a similar issue with the pyramids of like, how did they drag all these rocks miles away from where they were and stack them up without a crane and various things, and traditional archaeology has theories on how that happened, but traditional archaeology doesn't say, well, we know how it happened, here's how it was. They say, well, we've imagined some ways maybe it happened, and that's all ancient astronaut theorists are really doing too. Like, great, well, we imagined a different way it could have happened. Yeah.
So there's other types of alien technology or suspected ancient alien technology.
Sure, there's lots of historical things that an ancient astronaut theorist might look at and say, whether it's Pumapunku or the pyramids or any number of things where it's like one of the interesting ones I've seen is where in the Bible where it talks about Moses taking his people out into the desert and they survived on what the Bible describes as manna.
Yes.
Right. And so the question is, well, what was manna really? Right. What were they describing? What were they trying to describe when they talked about this? And so there's a lot of theories about machines, ancient advanced technology that could have existed
that created
that made
manna,
some sort of substance that they described as manna that allowed these hundreds and hundreds or thousands of people to survive in a desert where there was very little water, very little food.
Right. And they wouldn't have known where that was coming from.
Well, they couldn't farm like they're in the desert, right? But they survived out there for quite a while for these amount of people. And so it is, well, maybe, there was some sort of manna machine. And there's actually modern people that have tried to, based on the descriptions in the Bible, recreate a manna machine to see it. Yeah. Yeah. Good times.
Yeah. Is it just building, or are there like aquatic kind of inventions?
The buildings are the most commonly talked about thing because they still exist. You can go see them today and touch them and be like, wow, I couldn't build the Great Pyramid of Giza with a modern crane. How did people do this thousands of years ago? And so that's why they're the most commonly talked about things, because they still exist and you can go see them and wonder about them.
Oh, right.
Other things that maybe are buried into the ocean now or whatever are sort of less talked about and less because they're not things you can go experience.
Right.
Yeah.
So how far is it postulated that their civilization was able to advance? Like, at what point, what are the missing links of information that may have
people disagree, but the sort of general theory is sort of what I said before, is that at some point aliens visited Earth and sort of helped people out for a little bit and then moved on. And so they're not sort of around all the time every day. And so, or other people will say, well, they visited it multiple times. One of the basic parts of ancient astronaut theory is that during early human evolution, before the pyramids and before everything, the thing that sort of brought humanity from apes to the sort of missing link in the evolutionary chain is experimentation or breeding with ancient astronauts that visited the planet.
Yes.
That sort of took humanity from a certain level to what we would call a human being today.
And that kind of goes along with the Judeo-Christian.
Which would mean we're all aliens. Or descendants of aliens.
Or various, well, I guess that's what the elite think, right, Steve?
Yeah.
Because Steve's an elite?
Oh, well, Steve's our Illuminati expert, really.
I'm not quite an expert at all. I'm just interested in it.
So, I think that whole
some of
thing
this
is
has a lot to tie into it, too.
It does.
Absolutely.
Sure.
So, okay, so all right, so I guess how can you tell where? Well, I guess it's a time thing about what's ancient and what's more recent. Like the Egyptians, I mean, we talked about the pyramids.
Sure. So we have a basic idea of how old the pyramid is.
Mhm.
Although one of the things that's sort of interesting is that even in traditional archaeology, we keep sort of discovering that things are older than we thought they were.
Yes.
You know, and
Carbon
so
dating. The whole
carbon,
issue of carbon
well, carbon dating happens, or they'll find out something like it'll be generally accepted that a thing is however it's 3,000 years old,
Right.
and then we'll discover some more stuff. And we'll be like, you know what? It wasn't 3,000 years old. It was 5,000 years old,
Mhm.
or whatever. But those trends always move older. You know, we haven't had new discoveries that tell us, you know what? It wasn't 3,000 years old. It was 1,000 years old.
Oh,
You know,
it's
we keep
always
sort of going
the
more
other-
and more
I
ancient.
gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Okay, and so is it the same? Is it the same principle in the whole time? Like, are we going to be the ancients that aliens were coming and seeing? Do you think?
Possibly, if you like Battlestar Galactica, that would be a good theory.
How funny. But not plausible.
Well, sure.
Not that Battlestar Galactica is implausible.
Of course not.
I'm so sorry to all the Battlestar Galactica and
Sure,
fans. And
there, there's lots of outshoots of, the basic ancient astronaut theory has a lot of sort of outshoots, and so one of them would be more time travel oriented. That
Okay.
That maybe there weren't really ancient astronauts that came from another planet. Maybe in the year whatever 3000, we invent time travel and go back in time, and and it was really us being the ancient astronauts,
Right.
just time traveling instead of being from another planet. Like
But
that would be sort of an offshoot of the ancient astronaut theory.
it seems like there are different depictions of different breeds, or I don't know. They all some look similar to us,
Sure.
but some look very alien looking.
Sure. Some look sort of lizard manish,
Lizard manish, yes.
the supposed Illuminati expert might say.
Or the reptilian.
Sure. I think he's playing music again. I
Okay.
think he's done with us.
Well, it's time for another break.
it's
You're listening to
Ancient
Best
Elf. I
Denver.
like Ancient
You're listening to Best Denver Psychic on the Frieza Block Radio Network. And if you want to call Frieza Block, if you'd like to text the show, that number is 303-482-5490. And we'll be with you after the break.
Yeah.
I'm with you in the sand, will never be quicker than light. My heart feels like a mechanism, something then shuts again. I whispered in the dark that I'd do anything for you. You brushed my hand aside, then took off with my peace of mind. When you're sleeping, when you're sleeping, when you're sleeping, when you're sleeping. La 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 la.
Welcome back to Best Denver Psychic. I'm your host, Gina Nigro, and this is my co-host and producer, Steve Alverti.
Hey, we're
What's
still
up,
here.
Steve?
And deciding to stay on with us is our very special guest, Scott Hapel.
Bad decisions.
Thank you so much. And that's Happel
Why do
when you
keep
get to
spelling
Facebook.
my name?
Because I want people to get to you, and I thought it was LE. And you never know. People on Periscope are in and out.
Oh, I forgot. Man.
Our listeners are in and out. Our viewers are in and out. Do we have something from Periscope?
In and out.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
it
if
is.
anybody
Burger.
wants to follow us again, we have Twitter accounts as well. Mine is Frieza_block, FREEZA_block. And that is also linked to my Periscope account. So make sure you check that out. It's the old Ford Bronco, the old 69 is the picture.
Nice.
So
Yeah, don't look for me on Twitter.
go ahead
I'm
and-
way underperforming.
I'm going to go ahead and do it right now, as a matter of fact. Get right on
Oh,
now.
shit.
Awesome.
We're going to try. So go ahead and let everybody know as I'm trying to do this there, miss, what your Twitter handle is and all that other good
Gosh,
stuff.
I think my Twitter handle is Best Denver Psychic, but I don't do anything. Is that bad? Someone told me I should cancel the account rather than have it blank.
Should have seen that coming.
I know, right? Well, that's okay.
How many times can I make the same joke in one show?
Constantly.
Awesome.
People are in and out. Okay, so you can catch me on Best Denver Psychic, of course, every Wednesday from 8 to 10. If you want to watch the show live, you can go to my YouTube channel at Best Denver Psychic and click on my subscriptions, and you'll see a Frieza block. And then you can click on that, subscribe to the channel, and
Sounds very
watch it
complicated.
live. I know.
You know
It
what?
isn't, though. Am
I
I
wish it
making
was
it
as
sound
easy
too
as
hard?
turning on your radio and just flipping to the channel.
Yeah.
But that's the internet
Yeah.
for you. You got to jump through hoops to get to us. But,
But
hey,
going to YouTube's
know what?
not that
That's how
much.
free porn works. Too.
I mean, if you're watching Best Denver Psychic, and it is.
so many hoops you have to jump through.
if you want it, you're
Really?
gonna get it, right?
Yeah.
Right. Oh, nice.
Oh, see how she pretended she didn't know.
I'm not I don't know. I can't get porn at my place. The
have a
universe
block?
blocks it out. Yeah. So, and if you want to
Sad.
text or call the show, you can text 303-482-5490. And on second thought, don't probably call because I don't know. I can't get it together and do all that at once.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and turn this right on. I said Best Denver Psychic, ask her a question. So we'll see what we can do, and I'm gonna have to flip the deal. So there we go.
Flipping the deal.
There we
Oh,
go.
there we
Flipping the
go.
deal so we can see
Oh.
what we're doing. And
Hello.
hi, everybody on Periscope. We're
Hi,
on Periscope
Periscope.
as well. You're with Scott, me, Steve, and Gina. She is the psychic. If you have questions,
Booyah.
let us know. Wayne, if you got a question for us,
Somebody
let us
join.
know, man.
Hey, Wayne.
Something you want to know? Dwayne B., go ahead. You want to ask a question? Ask away. We're having a lot of good times here on the Best Psychic Network.
Yeah. Our subject. Do they know what the subject is?
Actually, yes, we're talking with our guest here. Our guest is Scott, and we are talking about ancient aliens. He is somewhat of an expert on ancient aliens.
He's
Emphasis
got
on
the
somewhat.
ancient alien pin.
And yes, indeed.
Fascinating.
So we're having a great time with it, man. So yes, indeed. So anyway, I did want to keep on with we were talking about Stonehenge, man.
Oh yeah.
Sup, Wayne? And we wanted to talk a little bit about what Stonehenge is and why do you think that people built it? And let's just go on and talk about it a little bit.
Sure. So Stonehenge is, everyone knows a little bit about Stonehenge. It's a bunch of rocks in England, and most people think, including ancient astronaut theorists, that while it may be some sort of calendar, that it also is very, because of that, it's tied to the stars, and so there's a lot of theory or thought that it is tied to planets where people might have visited from. That it points to Sirius Minor, or it points to whatever particular star that could be where people came from. Interestingly, they found similar formations underneath Lake Michigan recently.
Yes,
and
trying
they're
to get to that picture there.
Yeah, they're not exactly the same, but they're very similar formations found under the water of Lake Michigan. And the last time that would have been sort of exposed and not water would have been before the last ice age. And so it's entirely possible that those structures were built.
Have it in a different file.
Yeah, that looks like Easter Island, not Lake Michigan.
Yeah, it'll come.
You had it on the
hey,
internet.
who's giving us all the hearts?
I don't know who's giving us all the hearts. Who's hearting us up here?
I loved it. The bubble hearts. Keep them coming. I need a
Well, there we go.
Thank
We'll
you.
use that
I
page
love you.
right there.
There it is. Boom.
I love you.
All right.
What does that say?
That XX. He's
Oh.
giving you kisses. All right.
XX.
So, anyways, man, aside from the distraction of the deal,
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and let's talk about.
So they
the
recently
structure a
found
little
these,
bit.
like very recently, like in the last year. The people doing sonar research in Lake Michigan, not
Is that it right there?
Yeah, that's it. Not looking for stone structures at all. They were just doing sonar research for other unrelated reasons. Came across these things that no one had ever discovered before in the bottom of Lake Michigan. And when viewed from above, this picture doesn't exactly show that, but when viewed from above, they're laid out in a very similar formation to Stonehenge in England. And so, you know, that it's a brand new discovery. They're still really kind of figuring it out. So we don't know what they might have been or anything yet.
Is there an evolutionary kind of theory about how it could be underwater? Or
Well, that's what I would say. So the last time this part of the Earth would have not been underwater would have been before the last ice age. So the Great Lakes were formed when the last ice age melted away.
That's
so
right.
before that, you know,
would
before
have
the ice
been-
age, it would have been dry land.
Okay. For some reason, my mind flashed to the whole aliens coming out of water thing. Out of the water underneath them. Right? But I mean, if
underwater
that,
aliens.
you know, it's maybe they're not coming from outer space, but they're actually coming from the Earth to talk to people, you know.
Journey to the center of the
we'll
Earth.
save that for another segment.
Is that
we're
another
still
set?
got a
Okay.
lot.
I mean, I just,
We're
you
still
know.
talking about structures and
yeah.
things
And
that
So those are other.
wow, way to put me back on track.
Sorry.
Thank you, Steve. No, I appreciate that.
There's
sorta.
there's a really cool structure off the coast of Japan. His name escapes me right now, but it's a giant monolith of a structure in the ocean, not far from the coast of Japan, that happens to be located in this kind of Devil's Triangle area where lots of planes and ships
Yes,
and whatever
I know
have
all about
disappeared
the
and
Devil's
crashed.
Triangle.
Are and underneath there they found this giant stone monolith structure under there as well.
So do you
is
think
there a name for that or anything? Or?
Yes, but I don't remember
You don't
what it is
remember
off the
what it
top of
is.
my head.
So
All
do you
right.
think that has to, is it like marking a place maybe?
Well, there's a lot of theories. Maybe it's marking a place. Maybe if we could go down there and dig into it or whatever, maybe there's something in the structure that's causing a magnetic disturbance. You know, maybe there's a spaceship in there.
Why
Maybe there's
don't-
ancient technology in
Why
there.
don't we investigate the Earth instead of going to Pluto? I mean, I know I'm going to piss off everybody out there who's into the space program. You know
Yeah.
what, though? I say F it. That
Yeah,
was
you're-
good, right?
you're-
I didn't say it.
You
You're
didn't say
fired.
it.
I did not say it. The FCC were practicing.
Oh, good job.
I heard it's a $10,000 fine. Steve told me. I was like,
Well, only
what?
on the FCC. On the internet, we could say fuck it all we want.
Yeah. Boom.
There you go.
So it's not easy. It's not any easier to do things under the deep ocean than it is to do things in space.
All right.
Honestly,
It
it's
just
just
seems
not-
so simple. Jacques Cousteau and all.
Yeah, well, he's dead.
Yes, he is.
So it's not that simple. I mean, to do work deep in the ocean is not easy at all.
And it's
Like
the same
this.
kind of atmospheric pressure or whatever.
Yeah,
or
there's a
absence
lot of
it, or
challenges
however
to that. And
works.
so to go down and look at things is one thing. To go down and dig into rock and really explore things
excavate the
and
whole
excavate is a much different thing. So maybe is the Bermuda Triangle and Devil's Triangle caused by something in the Earth is
Magnetic?
creating weird
Who
magnetic
knows?
disturbances? Is it just something in the Earth? Is it ancient technology? Is it a spaceship? Who knows?
We'll get
we
into
haven't
that.
dug into that.
We'll get into that on the other side.
All right, you're listening to Best. You're listening to Best Denver Psychic, and we'll catch you after the break. If you have a question or a comment, please text at 303-482-5490, and we'll see you after the break.
Shooter.
Late last night, in search of light, I saw a ball of fire streak across the midnight sky. I watched it glow, then grow, then shrink and sink into the silhouette of morning. And as I watched it die, I said, hey, you know, I've got a lot in common with that light, all right? My life streaks across my span of time and seen by those who live their eyes in search of light to help them through the long, dark night, right?
See what it feels like. What you like, 'cause we're gonna die, we're gonna
What do you know? What do you know? How do you know? We go. Calling all you just wanna quit. Calling all you calling all
Hold on.
You're tuned in to the Freezer Block Network. You're tuned in to the Freezer Block Network. It's all right. Free speech. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
Well, I always want to go too soon.
Is it all right?
It's all right.
I have premature.
It's all right.
It's all right. Welcome back to Best Denver Psychic. I'm your host, Gina, and my co-host and producer, Steve Alberti, and our resident expert. Give us your information.
My name is Scott. I'm not going to spell my last name because I don't need to.
Chappel.
Yes, I love it when you spell it wrong. It's awesome.
I thought you said it was
just going to go with that. It is.
So that's correct.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Is it not correct?
You keep putting a C at the beginning of it, which makes me laugh.
Oh, what is it?
It's just an H.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I wasn't going to tell you the whole show because I was enjoying it.
You totally should have. Why is that enjoying?
He doesn't want people to be Googling and Facebook.
They're going to find pictures online they don't really want to see.
Sweet.
More videos.
I would get on that immediately if I were you.
Porntube.com. Okay.
Awesome. Well, there you go. It adds a whole new element to your character.
Let's get back into the subject at hand. We have Scott here, and we're talking about ancient aliens.
Yes.
And we kind of stopped off before the break talking about ancient structures. We covered Stonehenge a little bit.
Yeah.
We talked about Stonehenge underwater in
Lake Michigan.
Lake Michigan, which may or may not be a real. It
looks pretty promising. It looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, it does.
I would like to see that excavated.
Cool. We'll swim on down to the bottom of Lake Michigan
really.
and check it out.
Feel free to fund that one, right?
Yeah.
But I wanted to kind of get to the heads in, I guess, what they call them, the Moai.
The Moai in Easter Island.
Yes.
I would really like to go to Easter Island. Yes, those guys. So there's a couple kind of interesting things about them. One, they all face inward.
Yeah.
Steve was telling me that. That's very bizarre.
They all face inward. They're on this tiny little island. I can't remember how many. There's hundreds of them. And they go pretty deep into the island if you dig down.
40 feet, weren't you saying?
Yeah. So there's really no particularly plausible explanation as to what those are.
What's the purpose, do you think, of having them buried that deep?
Oh, so they don't fall over. And also they probably weren't always buried that deep. That's probably over time sediment and stuff is built up on them. He's going to pull up a picture. Can the people see this?
Working that out here in a second. Here.
Okay. The people can see what's going on here.
Oh, the people.
They can. Yeah.
They'd much rather see that than me, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Boom.
Sure.
Probably not. They love
There you go. So you can see how deep it goes down in there. And obviously it's unlikely that they built them and then buried them. They probably built them and they were in the ground some amount. And then over time, the ground grew up around them.
Yeah. These are very recent excavation pictures.
Very recent. Yeah.
Is this possibly an area that was at one time underwater? Or do we know? Really?
Don't know.
Okay. I mean, I'm assuming you're not a hydrologist.
I don't even think that's a word, but that was awesome.
It is. Yeah. It is. You can look that up.
Google that shit. Let me know. But as you can see, there's carvings on them and stuff underneath where the ground was today. So these moai are very old, and the ground, dirt has grown up on them over time. Why they were built, why they all face inward to the ocean or into the island, and none of them face outward to the ocean. They all are like in a big circle around the island and face inward. So what was going on in the middle of the island was, I don't know.
Who knows?
Theory has it that a lot of times that they had made these big giant structures and used most of the forest and the trees to roll them, and as a form of transport, since they were so huge, and work on these all the time.
But Easter Island is not a very big island. And so the idea that the people who lived there would just decide to build these things for no particular reason is just really bizarre.
Or that rock of that size. It doesn't look, just from the picture. I mean, I've never been to Easter Island, I suppose.
There's also pretty much no trees there at all. Now maybe there used to be, but there are no trees there at all. So it's of all the stuff, it's really a pretty honest mystery of, traditional archaeology doesn't have any real great explanation as to what was going on there. And the ancient astronaut theorists don't particularly have a great idea of why they were there either, other than the sort of standard idea of what would make people decide to go through all this trouble. You're not just going to be bored and decide to build hundreds of these statues and face them inward. right? So
I mean, maybe that was a portal where they came through or visited, that they came down to that
maybe,
spot. Or
but I don't even know if it had to be that dramatic. You know, it could just be, what if a spaceship landed there? And it just blew people's minds, because it's, you know, how would you react if a spaceship landed in your backyard right now?
Oh, I would freak out.
You'd
totally.
freak out.
I would run screaming like a small girl.
And so maybe it just became this, yeah. So it just became this thing. You had a picture of the Nazca lines up there recently, a second ago too.
Was that the? Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
There we go.
So that's another kind of important cog in the ancient astronaut discussions. These are also in Peru or in South America down there, and they are. There's tons of them. I mean, not tons. There's a dozen or so of these things that are so huge that when you're on the ground, you can't even tell they're there. Okay,
I just think those are so cool.
They look like absolutely nothing, and you can't even really tell what's going on from the ground. The only way you even know they're there is when you're way up in the sky. So they weren't discovered until planes started flying over this area, and people flying the planes were like, "What the heck is that?" You know, because you couldn't see them until you were way up in the sky. And so the thought is, why would they do this? And could you even effectively do this without some help from someone up in the sky?
Do you think it was aliens, whatever was coming down? Because I have a hard time believing it was only one type of alien.
The basic theory.
But could it be a message to them?
Well, yeah, the basic ancient astronaut theory would be that this was ancient people's attempt to communicate with people that visited them. Okay, and so whether these would be symbols that were on the spacecraft, or whether they were symbols that meant something in the communication between the people who visited and the people that lived on the ground, you know, we don't know, because we weren't there.
Fascinating geometry.
Yeah, and the idea that they could have created these without any sort of assistance or help from someone up in the sky is difficult to imagine, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, so far, some of the debunking theories that I've heard are totally, like, not almost plausible.
Well, I mean, you know, there's always skeptics about everything. But to me, the most important idea in the ancient astronaut theory is no specific detail. It's just the idea of, you know, it seems very plausible that ancient astronauts could have visited and made an effect and kind of turned humanity in a certain way by visiting, and we're sort of looking for evidence. Doesn't mean that any one particular piece of evidence is key, and that if you debunk this particular little small idea over here, that therefore the whole theory falls apart. Like that's to me, that doesn't make any sense. So that's not really how it works.
Right.
Where no ancient astronaut theorist is claiming to have the answers to everything, and here it is laid out in this nice handy book. You know, it's more of just looking at the past and examining it from a different viewpoint,
and just postulating, you know, a theory.
Yeah.
Okay, so at what point does it seem like this stopped happening?
Well, many people tell you it hasn't stopped happening. Many people might tell you that crop circles in some cases are similar to the Nazca lines,
and that we're still getting alien
and that we're still getting
technology.
visited. Sure. You know, other people might say, well, there's maybe some evidence that there was some sort of visitation thousands of years ago, but I don't really see any evidence of it today.
And then a lapse, or
or just a lapse or whatever. The universe is a really big place, and the idea that a probe of some kind, like, you know, when was the last time we visited Pluto? Never. Now we just had a thing fly by Pluto. When's the next time we're going to send something to fly by Pluto?
Right.
10 years, 100 years, 1,000 years, you know, it could be a really long time before the next probe flies by Pluto. So the idea that some other race of people from galaxies away could have sent something to Earth, or that made it to Earth, but then it could be thousands of years before something else comes back, because we could be galaxies away.
Absolutely. Huh.
Sure.
So interesting. So what are the theories about about more than one species, or that seems so, I don't know, I hate saying that. More than one species of alien coming during that same time. Like, is there any indication that
there were? If you hate saying it, why do you keep saying it?
I don't know, because what's the other word? Species, type?
It's fine. So, you know,
we need to.
There's a lot of different, you know, kind of postulation about how they looked, and whether we were visited from people from different planets. If you think about the universe as just being this unbelievably gigantic place, and it seems silly to think life only evolved on Earth. So maybe it evolved on another planet thousands of years before us, and they were able to visit. Well, maybe it evolved on 12 planets throughout the whole universe thousands of years ago, and multiple planets have sent out probes and multiple planets have visited. And maybe those people look different. Maybe some of them look like us. Maybe some of them look like, aliens from a stupid movie. Who knows?
Could it be competing technologies, maybe?
Could be. Sure.
Interesting. All right. Well, you're listening to Best Denver Psychic. Our subject tonight is ancient aliens, and you can catch us on the other side of the break.
Peace.
All right. Welcome back to Best Denver Psychic. I'm your host, Gina, and you can get a hold of me at bestdenverpsychic.com, or you can email me at gina@bestdenverpsychic.com. You can also catch the show live on YouTube. If you go to, just go to the YouTube and Google Best Denver Psychic. You see the theme?
Mm-hmm.
It's good. and subscribe to the
available.
Frieza Block channel, and you can actually watch the show live if you want to hear your question answered or you'd like to have a live discussion. You'll know when to call in, and you can call or text at 303-482-5490.
Do it.
And I think that's probably it. You can catch Steve on the Frieza Block Thursdays at 5.
That's right. And also on the Chocolate Drop on razradiolive.com. We do a show on Saturday afternoons from 11 o'clock Mountain Time, 1 o'clock Eastern Time till it's a 2-hour show. Do the math.
I think our viewers can do
it's
it,
more of a hip hop centric show. We have a lot of fun. It's political. It's locker room, and we do have interviews as well.
Sweet.
So it's a good time. Join us, razradiolive.com.
And Scott has an
Chocolate
event
Drop.
coming up, the Carnival de Sensual. The first date for that, it's 3 times this year.
October 24th is the next date at the Oriental Theater.
Yep, Saturday before
Halloween.
Halloween. And the Oriental's on 43rd and Tennyson.
44th and Tennyson.
44th and Tennyson. There we go.
And I'm
All
told
right.
if you like boobs, check it.
Burlesque.
Burlesque. boobs.
Aerialist.
We're
Awesome.
just saying,
Magician. Freak show.
Mr. Hapel here is all about boobs.
World's worst MC. It's an awesome show.
World's worst. Oh, well,
Hey,
good.
tell
You're
them
on
a
the
little bit
perfect
about
show.
those MC shoes you got. I saw those on Facebook.
I bought those. So I dress aggressively boring most of the time, and but I decided if I was going to start emceeing more often, I should not. So I went to True Love Shoes and Accessories on South Broadway, locally owned business. Sarah's awesome. You should stop by there if you want some awesome shoes.
Hey, I want you to call Bomb. Where is it?
What are you doing?
Where is
Call
it?
Bomb sounds terrible.
Yeah. No, tell him you
True
can't
Love
wait.
Shoe- True Love Shoes and Accessories is on South Broadway.
True Love Shoes and Accessories. Google it. Call them up. Tell them you heard about him on Best Denver Psychic. And the host or guest was Scott Hapel, and that he couldn't say enough good things about him, and he can't wait to go back.
That's where I got the shoes. They were awesome.
That's right. Let them know. They
So,
should
the
advertise
shoes
on
are
the
kick-ass.
show.
The shoes are
kick-ass, and
Everything
so
they
are they.
sell is animal-free, abuse-free awesomeness. So.
Sweet.
All right, I want you to do a little chiming in.
Oh, boy.
Gina, this is something else. This is under the category of, I would guess, somebody wants to know. Wayne, one of our callers, one of our viewers from, that's right, one of
I
our
love
viewers
So clever.
from Baltimore. He wants to know the Maryland lottery numbers, of course. The Maryland lottery
The Maryland
numbers.
lottery
And
numbers.
that is for this Saturday coming up. I know you probably
Is this all
don't do
people
this,
ask
so
for is lottery numbers
I know.
and silver
It's
prices.
Like people
That's
want to
it.
so use me.
they just, I know, but I don't know. Do you do that or not? I mean,
I could.
Yeah.
All right, let's just do it. I mean, what's it? I mean,
how many numbers are there?
How could it go wrong?
Yeah, how many numbers are there? 8, right?
I think so.
What's he? Is he ask him how many numbers?
All right, I will. I'll ask.
Yeah,
him.
ask him how many numbers does he need?
Can I guess? Maybe I'm psychic.
Yeah.
Yes. Hey, tell him he should buy 3 tickets.
I know what they are. 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42.
All right, man.
Is that enough?
I'm sure those are.
It's gotta be.
Those are the ones from
That's what came
Scott.
to me. Yeah,
And hey, he's gonna stick by those numbers.
absolutely.
And Gina, go
No
ahead.
chance those aren't the winners.
And it's 8 numbers, you say?
I don't know.
Okay, let's do
I think it's 7
16,
probably.
32,
Now you're copying me.
42,
She's just doubling up.
8.
She's just doubling up, is all.
11,
Half of those numbers I said.
7,
Maybe there's something to it, huh?
12, and 36. I'm going with it.
All right.
All right, so we need to
Go
review
for it.
this after Saturday and see which one of us was closer to the truth.
That's
We
right.
can. Didn't that give you a headache? I still can't recover from our silver investor.
She didn't give me a headache. She seems like a nice lady. She wants some money. She wants to live the
Well,
good
it's
life.
just
and
getting the. It's
know,
just doing all
once
those numbers.
once the grid
blows me.
crashes and everything goes to hell, she's going to be one of the only ones that has
Hey,
some value.
I'm predicting 11. I'm predicting that
If society
silver
has-
goes down
here's-
to 11.
Here's what I don't understand. If society falls apart, why do we need silver?
There you go.
So why is there any value in it? I'd rather have food and
Because
water.
The Illuminati determined that.
No.
What
They
what-
decided.
how
Could've
would
been
you buy,
Wampa,
how would
but
you buy your
weird.
food and water?
I wouldn't buy it. I would grow it. Or
Just grow it.
yeah. The ability
What
to
do
grow
they-
food will be more important than the ability to have shiny metal
Yeah, there you go.
if society falls apart.
What else do they use silver for?
All kinds of
Circuit
stuff.
boards and all sorts.
Because
of
that's
things.
what we need if society falls apart is
Yeah.
circuit boards.
More technology, because that
What?
didn't hurt. Well, and God forbid we should have an EMP.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
So is there any? That would be awful. Thank you for seconding that.
I think I said awesome.
I think you said awesome. That's why I
I
laughed.
thought you said awful.
Yeah, no
Should
more
have seen
Gina
that
Psych-
coming.
No more Gina Psychic show.
I know.
That's-
Is there any evidence that we ever went back in our technology and then they caught us up again?
Sure. So I mentioned earlier that even in traditional archaeology, we keep finding out that things are older than we thought.
Right.
So there's
I gotcha.
there's a school of thought that a very modern, even more advanced than today's civilization existed on Earth thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago and was destroyed by whatever, nuclear war, climate change, who knows what destroyed it, but was destroyed and sort of fell apart. And then the sort of remnants of that are what allowed these ancient people to have pockets of knowledge that don't make sense to us that they have.
Oh, so do you think we will get that technology again? I mean, do you think it indicates that the Earth has been like, at the edge multiple times?
It's certainly possible. I mean, the Earth is billions of years old. So why couldn't there have been a civilization a million years ago?
It seems improbable that there wouldn't have been.
Maybe. I mean,
I think you have to go a lot farther to prove that theory.
Yeah, the sorts of things that you can't prove, really. There's sorts of things that you can point to evidence and maybe this and maybe that, but you're not gonna prove it in the same way you prove 2 + 2 is 4.
Right. Do you think we'll ever know?
I think that ever is a long time. I think that if we go into
Do you
that,
think you'll know in your lifetime?
I hope so.
How much clarity has come on?
I'm
to
not the psychic
situation
in this
over-
room.
Good call,
Boom.
boy. You roofie this guy sooner rather than later. How quickly does information or additional information or breakthroughs,
Sure.
I guess, come?
So Von Daniken wrote his books in the 70s, and I think that we've sort of learned a lot in the 50 years since then. But when you're talking about proof of stuff that happened thousands of years ago, you don't often discover new stuff. A lot of the research is a matter of looking at old texts and trying to translate them. Well, nobody alive knows what those languages were, so we're sort of guessing anyway.
Right.
We're making our best guess at it. And so as ancient astronaut theories go back over these older texts with a different eye, then they find things that sound interesting to them and say, well, traditional archaeology decided this document meant this, but we think that maybe they're wrong, and maybe this document really meant this. And so that type of discovery still happens.
So if somebody wants to get involved in research or discovering new things, or just, in the movement, or they want to support someone who's excavating or
Sure.
whatever that is, how do they get more involved in the whole thing?
I don't know if there's sort of a single group that is sort of together. There's Giorgio Tsoukalakis. Say that 3 times fast.
I know, right? I'm not going to try to spell that. I can't even get Hapel right.
Yeah, they have a.
I mean, jeez.
If you look him up, there's an organization. They've got a place out in California, but I don't know that they really take sort of donations or something like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
I just didn't know.
they're out doing their work. I think really watching the show and the money they get from the show and the advertisement they get from the show or whatever sort of funds their ability to travel to these places and do the research.
Right.
Speaking of
Stuff.
Man,
I
I'm
know.
telling you, but
You wish you
technology.
could speak of
I know. All of a sudden, I blank out.
something.
Speaking of technologies and ancient technologies and power sources and things like that,
Sure.
every once in a while, I hear stories about the Ark of the Covenant.
Sure.
And basically, what that was is a nuclear power plant.
That is certainly a
I did
theory.
not know
Yeah,
that.
that's now. Let's talk a little bit about ancient technologies when it comes to
Power.
Power. Yeah.
So a couple of the main things that are talked about as being possible power sources. The Ark is one of them, certainly. And the Great Pyramid in Giza is another one that is discussed as perhaps being a power plant. at the time. And so, we don't really know what the Great Pyramids were built for. They're there in front of us. We don't have the Ark of the Covenant in front of us to inspect. But the pyramids are there, and there's weird shafts in them that don't really make any sense. If it's just a tomb, why were these things there? And why would you build a tomb that's that huge and whatever? So, and there's coatings of stuff that they find on the rocks that make them think that there was fire and heat involved in that. So there's a lot of theories that go around about the pyramids in particular, that they were power plants of some kind. The theories on the Ark are more esoteric because we don't have an Ark to look at and inspect. Right. But the idea that it could have been, whether it was nuclear power, whether it was some sort of fusion, some sort of power that we don't even have right now, fission or fusion or something like that.
Now, I've heard this particular deal that a group of students, I think back in the 60s maybe,
stoned.
They actually put they have the materials, and they were putting an actual ark together, and they got really close, but then they started getting sick, and they had to abandon the project because it started becoming wildly out of control.
Wow.
I don't actually know anything about that.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
I know there's been, there's pretty minimal descriptions of the Ark in the Bible. Like physical description, there's a little bit of the outside, but there's not really much of the inside. So I don't know anything about that particular story, but I know that there are theories that what the Ark was a power source. And kind of it goes along with the manna machine we talked about earlier. There were thoughts that because Moses and them had the Ark with them, and there's thought that the Ark powered the manna machine.
And there you go. I mean, and do you think the amount of power was something of a worldwide deal, because they have what they call, I don't even know what they call them, but they look like something that might be able to receive information from one long place to another, like from Italy to Egypt.
So Nikola Tesla often postulated that power could be transmitted throughout the air or perhaps through the earth. And he did a lot of experimentation trying to be able to build a way to create free power across the globe. And whether that was transmitted, he built his Tesla towers to transmit it through the air. He also built rods deep, deep into the earth, hoping that he could transfer the power through the electricity inherent in the earth from rod to rod and kind of basically create this worldwide free power source. He was never able to succeed because once they figured out he wanted to give it away for free, they pulled this funding. And
JP Morgan asked, where's the meter?
Yeah,
where's the meter, you son of a bitch?
There's no meter on
free energy for everybody. God damn it.
But there's a lot of evidence that he had great success in over short distances. In his laboratory, he did demonstrations for lots of people, including, lots of famous people who wrote about it and whatever. Mark Twain, some other people, where they would go in and sit down and he would do demonstrations where there would be a power source on one side of the room and he could hold up a light bulb in his hand on this side of the room with nothing connecting them and get the light bulb to turn on. That's
amazing.
He had a lot of success in short distances of making electricity travel through the air to things and power it. Whether he was ever able to upscale that to something that could be worldwide or used over a wide scale or not, we'll never know.
I'm sure some quantum physics nut at the time probably, used a chloroform bag to get the information out of him and make CERN.
Perhaps.
That was awesome.
Wasn't that a nice rant?
Can we write that sentence out?
I don't know. I don't think I can do it again. All right, you're listening to Best Denver Psychic, and we'll be back with you in just a minute. If you'd like to text the show, text 303-482-5490. We'll be right back.
The rain starts coming down. Everyone here's been wondering, when will it be over? I night train every evening. Maybe change is coming soon. With the harvest moon, take me down to the river. Take me to the preacher man. I can't wait longer. I messed up all I can. I hear the night train singing in the distance. Baby, the angels are coming soon with the harvest moon. If the river's rising, look to the dark horizon. For the harvest moon, yeah. Wait a minute, just a little bit longer. It's all up to me and you. Wait a minute, just a little bit longer. It's all up to me and you. Wait a minute.
Tuned in to the Freezer Block Network. You're tuned in to the Freezer Block Network. It's all right. Free speech. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
The food in their mouths, provided and people by somebody else. All the rain selling shit will buy a kid down south. You started men murder for the drugs on your shelf. And grace on the front lines, preach the word of God. But yeah, no sanctuary is safe from the mob. So many living ignorance, they've forgotten how to love. So many living in excess, they attribute to their own faults. They've forgotten how to call in the house, the food in their mouths, provided and people by somebody else. All the raisins and shit will buy a kid down south. We're starting men murdered for the drugs on your shelf. House, the food in their mouths, provided and people by somebody else. All the rain, shine, shit will buy a kid down south. Simon Lynn murdered for the drugs on your shelf. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Hi, I'm Gina. Join me for the Best Denver Psychic Wednesdays at 8 o'clock with my producer, Steve Alverdi, coming to you on the Freezer Block Radio Network.
Woo!
All right, you're back.
Damn,
Miss.
sorry. All right.
What
So
do
you're listening to Best Denver Psychic, and we're on every Wednesday from 8 to 10 live. If you go to my YouTube channel, Best Denver Psychic, you can just click on Freeze a Block in my subscriptions, and you can actually watch the show live, or you can catch us on Twitter, Periscope. Yes.
Yes, a little bit here and there.
Here and there.
And
Yeah.
you can also catch us on Google Hangouts.
That's right. Google
We're
Hangouts
simultaneously
on the
broadcasting
Freeze a Block.
on Google Hangouts.
That's right, on the Freeze a Block channel. So if you check out any of the best Denver psychics, subscribe to the channel, and then of course, watch whatever you want, and then make sure to leave a comment. Let us know whether you think we're full of shit, whether you like us, whether you agree with what we say,
if my hair looks
or
okay,
anything like that. Yeah, any of that.
how
stuff.
you like
Just
the background, all the
let us know.
things we worry about on the show.
The background is awesome.
The background is awesome. Steve got that on vacation. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, well,
I just love it.
It would be cooler if it was closer.
Oh, it's
Never
awesome.
mind.
We'll
Or
work
if
it out.
covered the whole
We'll work it
background.
out, dude. Don't worry. This is just the beginning of a #1 hit smash. Crazy. Woo!
She's a psychic.
She would know.
knows.
I would know. I feel it. It's a lot of coincidence, hasn't it been, Steve?
You guys had a lot of cool stuff that you were talking about during the break there, during the song, man. And I want you to go ahead
Okay,
and
yeah.
kind of rehash that. I
Okay,
thought that was real interesting stuff.
I kind of went off on a tangent.
We try to keep the interesting stuff to the breaks.
Yeah, no doubt
I know.
about
We
it.
really have done that. That's too bad. I know. We always do that. We try not to talk too much during the breaks, but it's hard. Okay, so I had a question just about aliens kind of in general.
Yeah.
Okay, a couple of times when I've done clearings or, exorcisms, if you want to call them that, 2 or 3 times someone has said that it was an alien that either came out or this person, they identified it as that. Some people are getting, like, another thing that I see is a lot of repeating numbers.
Okay.
Which is in popularly it's depicted as alien messages trying to give us messages and calling us. And so I was just curious, like, just generally, as far as general aliens go, what do you think about that? What's
General
your belief?
aliens.
General aliens. What's your, what's your idea about possession or being indwelt by anything outside?
I'm not personally a big proponent of, possession or astral projection. I don't know how an alien would possess someone, I suppose. Like, just latch onto their back. Like, I don't know. It seems odd to me. So I wouldn't say that that's a thing that I'm interested in or know anything about.
Okay. And it might be psychosomatic for someone to think
but
that.
there are certainly theories that I don't necessarily subscribe to of aliens astral projecting. There's certain ancient astronaut theorists who believe that a lot of the sort of geniuses that have come about in human society, whether it's Einstein or Tesla or Leonardo da Vinci, were getting their information from aliens, sort of.
Or are aliens or getting the information?
We're getting their information from aliens.
Okay,
like
I got you.
Psychically or astral projectingly or however it was happening.
It all comes, the information all comes the same way.
Sure. And so, a lot of those people talk about, Da Vinci in particular talked about having visions and weird nightmares, and Tesla had all sorts of weird stuff like that. And so the theory is, well, maybe that wasn't just their brain being haywire and geniusy. Maybe that was information being beamed into their head somehow from aliens. Yeah.
Well, and I think it's interesting that it seems like everything centers around technology.
Sure. Well, I mean, that's sort of the number one thing you would learn from an advanced society is flying cars and power that doesn't kill us and all this sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And electricity and surgery or whatever.
Sure.
Have there been any in ancient, things that you see, have there been any medical technologies or surgical technologies that seem like they're depicted or heard of, or however that?
No, not that I know of. Sure.
It's mainly mechanical.
It's generally mechanical or
physics oriented things.
Or how to grow things or build things. Yeah.
What do they show about growing things?
Well, there's a lot of theories that advances in farming that allowed them to feed the number of people they had to feed came from that sort of thing. There's also, we talked about the manna machine, which was food. There's theories that, like, the story of Jesus and the loaves and the fishes was really some sort of allegory for them just being able to create food, like sort of Star Trek style, the replicator thing they would go to and just order a steak and a steak would pop out.
So could it be that, or I guess, is it a theory, because it popped in my head, that for the 40 days and 40 nights that Jesus was tempted in the wilderness or whatever, that he was actually maybe having contact with aliens or?
Yeah, that's certainly a thing, that he was maybe kidnapped, that he was abducted and was on a spaceship. Certainly, I mean, that certainly exists as a theory. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's crazier stuff out there that Christianity has to offer, if I'm okay to say that.
Burning bushes talking. I mean, better than that.
I know it's difficult sometimes for people to imagine things outside the Judeo-Christian system,
not
but
for me.
Not for you. So what is your, do you mind if I ask you something?
You
personal?
can ask whatever you like.
What is your spirit?
8.5 inches.
Okay, well, we should probably get a ruler so that we're sure about how long.
Wait, what did you think I was talking about?
Because I'm not sure. Sometimes there's a distorted idea.
It's always doubters. Well, you're a psychic. You should know.
True. As far as the whole penis thing totally blew me.
I never said penis.
You never said
Totally
penis.
blew me.
Such a dirty mind.
I know. Well, it's 2 against 3. What can I do? There's a lot of.
It's 2 against 3.
There's a lot of testosterone.
There must be somebody else in here we don't know about.
There's 2 other people in the room we don't even know about.
Or 2 against 1.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. So, what is your general belief system? Like you're a pagan, correct?
I would call myself agnostic.
Oh, okay. What is it? P, C, B, something, and Q. Protestant, Catholic, Baptist, and questioning.
Never heard that in my
I really
life.
like that one.
That was awesome.
So, all right. So, do you find is any of this like challenge your belief system, or it pretty much fits right in?
Well, sure. So, the agnostic belief would be that we only know what we know, and I'm not going to believe in something that I can't put my hands on or see or know.
Right.
Right. So, my general belief system is I don't know.
There you go.
And so any of it sort of fits in.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, that's kind of bringing us right on down
was a
to the
great
end
end.
of the show. But you know what, Scott? As we sign ourselves on out and go ahead and get ready to just say our goodbyes, give us a little bit of that info again and what you're doing and the stuff down there.
Come out to the Oriental Theater anytime. 44th and Tennyson. Carnival de Sensual is October 24th.
And where
2015.
do people go if they want you to MC?
They can stalk me in all the various ways you spelled my name today. And maybe if they find me, that
Scott
would be great.
Hapel, Happel.
Happily, Happle, Chapel,
Facebook.
however you want to spell it.
And you can watch us every week, Wednesdays at 8 o'clock live on YouTube, or you can catch us on regular YouTube, the archive.
Post a bonus YouTube.
And yeah, there's 2 lovely spots. And you can also catch Steve Thursday nights at 5 for Frieza Block.
The Frieza Block show on milehighunderground.com. Make sure to check that out. Again, this week we're going to have Jaime from Estrella on in there, and they're going to be talking about his band and a lot of the new changes that are going on with those guys. And, check them out right now tonight. If you hear the Estrella band, Denver, Colorado, check them out. They've got good stuff.
Oh, and our awesome shoe place.
Oh, yeah.
True Love, Shoes and Accessories.
Shoe Love, Shoes and Accessories, Inglewood, Colorado. Call them up. Tell them we said they rock. Till next week, we'll see you. And remember, we're all looking at the same moon.
That's right. And is there anything about the tool?
Oh, don't give your power to the tools. The power's inside you.
We'll see you on next week. We're going to have a great show. It's going to be all about portholes.
Oh, I love
Should be
portals. Do.
Again, thank you very
We'll
much.
see you next week.
Scott,
Thanks,
thank
Scott.
you for,
Staying the whole time.
yeah.
Love you, man. Love you.